What's up, everyone? This is Ronnie, and we're just going to come to you with our monthly eBay sales update. If you don't know, we've been doing this, off and on for a few years now. We'll show what we sell every month on eBay. And I picked out 40 things this month, just interesting things you come across. Some things are bread and butter, some things are a little more high end or things that just stand out to make you some more money. So let's get into it, and we'll go over it. I actually had 40 this month things. I found I probably could have squeezed a few more in there, but I really don't feel like going on with a video forever. Um, you know, but do a screen share here, and we'll get into the first one. This is a Nintendo power cord for a Super Nintendo. We had this in a box with a bunch of other video game stuff we picked up over the summer at yard sales and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, it just got forgotten about under one of the tables. So we throw everything in a few different totes down there. And when we brought it back to the house one Sunday, we just said, let's get this stuff listed. It's just sitting around the house. We realized this went to a Super Nintendo. We didn't have any, so we just listed it up. I seen it actually got pretty decent money. Got $16.99 for that, free shipping. And, basically it was just thrown in a lot. This was a foot pedal for a sewing machine that we had. And all these things, they have, they have model numbers on them. You can look it up if you find these things cheap enough. I've sold a few other sewing machine pedals in the past, believe it or not. I've gotten them for like 50 cents and get 20 plus. I think this one sold for full price. It costed actually a little more than I thought to ship. Costed about $6, but the sewing machine was broke, and we salvaged the pedal out of it. This was a vintage Coleman jug, 2-gallon jug. I picked this up at a estate sale for $2 in October. It sat for a little while. It looked like it was never used. I mean, it was really clean. There was a scratch along the back, as you see right there. Otherwise than that, it's really, really clean condition. We actually sold that today. I had to go to the storage unit, pick up that and something else. It was really clean. I see the insides here. If it wasn't clean, I would have not picked it up. I really would have just left it there. But I thought there was some value to it. And with the box and with everything, paid $2 and we sold it for $42. So I'll do that all day long. Pair of Levi's jeans. Usually I'll pick up jeans, newer tags, especially like Levi's and stuff like that, if I can get them in for a cheap enough price, because they only retail for like $50 new, unless you get something special. Pick these up for about $4 on a half off day. These are 517s, and I didn't think there was really anything special. I really wasn't paying attention. I looked more to the condition. When we got home, I realized they were made in USA. And the other nice key to this is that 36 length inseam. I wear like a 29, 30 inseam, so that's somebody about 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", wearing those. So that's big tall boy Gumby jeans right there. But they sold really quick, and that was the thing. They sold for $50.99 plus shipping. I ship all my jeans in padded flat rate envelopes. I just think it's easy, it's cheap, $5.90. This is an Orvitz woman's 100% cashmere cardigan. I had this for a little while. We picked it up and we realized one of the buttons was chipped, but there was an extra button in the thing. So my wife just took forever to get around to sewing the new button on, but it sold within a day of listing it for full price at $49.99 plus shipping once again. These were a pair of Tommy Bahama new tags, shorts. I mean, just Tommy Bahama shorts, nothing special. They were new. I've done well with new Bahama shorts before. We've picked them up in the past. These were a size 44. Put them up a little higher coming into that season now where people are going to start looking for shorts. And we actually got $50.99 for these. These were on sale. See right there, I charged shipping, and I don't remember if these went first class or priority, depending on the weight. Probably they were light, so I'm probably thinking they went first class. But I think we paid $10.99 for them, and they sold pretty quickly within a few days of listing. Here we have a. I'll pick up new tag stuff in the thrift stores. They might not have the best resale value used, but new, they do fairly well. I picked this up $7, $5 somewhere. So I don't remember where. We've had this probably a year, sat around in our inventory, and it's actually a fashionable shirt. It's actually a good size, 2X, very colorful pattern. You would have thought, hey, this is going to sell fairly quick. It took a little while. This sold for $50.99. But you know what? $5, I would never pass that up. I would pick them up new all the time. Used, they're a lot harder to sell. Sometimes they sell, sometimes they sit forever. Here's a vintage Woolridge, like a heavy flannel, shirt. This thing looked like it was never used. It was just really clean. I mean, you can see by the tags here, they were really crisp and really good. Made in USA. A lot of times with these kind of shirts, I'll put in 85, 15. I've seen other people do that when I did research in the past, and I do it, and I'm not sure if people look for those because it's 85% wool, 15% nylon. But this sold. I took a best offer of $50 on this. I paid $5, and this sold pretty quickly. I mean, it sold within a few days. This was a nothing special, just a big boy jacket. Took this sold for $50.99 plus shipping. It's just an Andrew Lloyd. They make clothing for larger men. This might have been new without tags because the vent in the back was actually still sewn, but I didn't list it as new without tags. It was 100% silk. It was white. It was one of those things I was not 100% sure because, larger guys, they don't look good in light colored clothing. But I did pick it up. It was like $7, and it sold. It took a few months, probably took 4 or 5 months, but I don't think anybody was looking for a off-white colored ivory suit jacket in the middle of winter. This was a vintage Pendleton shirt. I've had this probably 4 or 5 months. See the tag, blue tag, always men's. This is actually a little better of a model though. This is called a board shirt, and the way you can tell a board shirt than most, they have these flap pockets where there's no buttons or anything to hold them down. They have usually 2, and the collar, it'll have a loop, what they call a loop collar, which will be like a piece of like a string, and it'll go across the top button at the collar. And these shirts sell a little better than they do the others. I've had this listed for a while. This went to Switzerland. Like I said, we got $50.99. They paid about $20 to ship it. This thing is taking a little while to load. Dun, dun. Like I said, we listed a bunch of video game stuff. This sold within a day. It was just two broken Nintendo NES systems. Neither one of them worked. One had a little damage to it, minor damage. No power cords, no nothing. Just two units, listing them up, and they sold, like I said, within a day or so. And I probably would. I wouldn't pay more than $5 for any of these because you don't know if they're working. And I was actually surprised that they actually go for decent money broken. But that's it. This was another thing. I wouldn't have picked it up, but it was new with tags. A Van Heusen men's sport coat. I mean, it actually had a nice pattern to it, as you see right there. Nice pattern, tags all on it and everything. Had shoulder pads. It was really a nice looking jacket. You know. And just a regular size though, 44, nothing special. Probably paid $7 for this. I don't think I paid any more than that. Just a regular purchase at price. And we got $62.99 for this. So it took a little while, it took a few months to sell, but sometimes clothing, you have to be patient and just wait for that one buyer to come along and buy something. Some things sell fast, some things sell slow. Sport coats and suits and that kind of thing are usually a waiting game for the right person, as you don't usually buy those all the time. I don't usually buy a lot of Tommy Bahama shirts, but I will eventually come across them here and there. This was new with tags. My wife found this one. We paid $10 for it, and had a nice summery color, that like aqua blue, sky blue, whatever you want to call it. Flowery print, 2X, and it sold within a day. I mean, listen, there was a bunch of times where I listed 40, 50 things, and I had 4 or 5, 6 things sell within a day, which was good. You like that. But like I said, we got $69.99 plus $3.99 shipping for that. This one right here, we got $71.99 for. It's a Peter Millar golf shirt. The thing was, it had embroidery for Scotty Cameron putters and also Titleist. And it's a nice blue color. It didn't look to really be worn. There's that logo for little Scotty dog, logo for Scotty Cameron. And there was right there, Scotty Pullman 5mm putters. Very expensive putters if you ever came across. I had Titleist on the back. I used as many keywords as I could, and that sold within a day or so. And that was a $5 shirt. My wife found that one too. And she wasn't 100% sure what she found. She just knew she found it. But so a pair of men's jeans. I paid $20 for these. Paid up, but the thing was the size 40 by 30. If these were like a 32-30, I wouldn't have paid. I would have just left them there. But they're newer tags, bigger size, and believe it or not, these sold within a day. These sold very fast. They had the Macy's tag still on it. The other tag. And I just love when things sell fast. I can't, it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, we list a lot of inventory and some of it sits, some of it. This was another item right here. This sold within a day. They were actually, they're Gucci loafers. They have the horse bit and everything, but they're really well worn on the bottom here. If you can see, They were thinned, and I talked to the buyer before that got them, and we were going back and forth. And he noticed that there was a lot of interest in these shoes. I think within the first day, these sold on the second day, I believe, or the start of the second day. I think I had 6 watchers on this the first day, and then when I went to bed, there was, I think when they sold, there was 8 watchers or something. It was kind of crazy that, I don't know if it was just because I priced it lower, because the soles, I knew probably somebody who got these would get them fixed on the soles just because they were worn fairly well, but they were a good shoe. The rest of the shoe was, really good, but the other wasn't. This was a J. Crew wool blend, I believe. Might have been 100% wool blend on wool and nylon. We picked this up. I had this for a little while. We probably had this 2-3 months maybe. Paid probably I think we paid 10 for this, and it sold for 70, I think $72.99 or somewhere around there. And it's just a good sale. I'm actually happy to get rid of it when we did, because otherwise it would probably get carried over into winter and take a little longer to sell a jacket, in the summer. But I do list stuff all the time. It doesn't matter. Found these at a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx. I don't remember the pictures. I could not get the pictures, or my wife could not get the pictures really to work very well, because of the darkness of the pants. But they had their regular price was supposedly $185. We paid $10. No, we paid either $5 or $10 for this. We bought a few other ones. They were size 22, and they're bigger woman size. They're 100% wool pants. They had a little leather trim, and they were just a nice looking pair of pants. These sold fairly quickly within a few days, and we sold these for $76.99. So it was a really nice solid sale. I'm not going to complain with that whatsoever. This sold for also $76.99. This is a Baltimore Orioles starter satin jacket. See the starter logo here on the sleeve. I mean, baseball season's here. People are looking for this kind of stuff. It was just a really nice jacket. Here's the other tags. I actually just listed up a Red Sox one that we found the other day. And we bought this in upstate New York. Actually found 2 of them in the same store. I'm guessing somebody, they were 2 people probably from the same family, I'm guessing, donated them because there were 2 different sizes. But the other one was kind of really well worn. They were asking $20 for them, so I just bought the one. But it sold. It took a little while. That was Christmas when we got it, so it's been up for 3 months. We picked these up, I want to say somewhere in Springfield, possibly, going to New York, and my wife seen these. They were probably new without box. They were just they never been worn, probably, as you see the condition here. Problem is, they were golf freaking cleats, and you're not really, I think they outlawed these cleats at most golf courses nowadays. These went over to Japan, as most of these shoes I do pick up do. I think we paid 17 for them, and I should have just left them there. They did take about 3 months to sell, but we did take an offer of $75 on them. So, you're still making money, but it sat a little longer. This is a Griswold frying pan, number 8. Really, it was dirty and ugly. I cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't really put too much love into it. See the Griswold logo right there. We've had this kicking around the warehouse for a while, and it's kind of like we had to get it listed and just get it out of here. I don't have time to mess with it all that much. But paid under $5 for it probably, and it sold for 59.19, I believe. And that fit right in a medium flat rate, the long box, so very easy to ship. And I just covered the pan up with bubble wrap to make sure it didn't get cracked or anything. This was a Newitt Tags Joseph A. Bank signature gold edition. No, like again, once again, it's brand new with tags. Otherwise, I would probably not pick this brand up. It's a little on the smaller side, 40 regular. Silk and wool. We've had this listed for a little while now. Probably listed 6 months. And the crazy thing was the retail price on that. But if you ever been to a Joseph A. Bank store, it's like you go in there and they already have the suits like half off, and it's like, hey, buy one suit, get two free. They're not really, they're abundant. You could find these suits everywhere. They're not hard to find. That's why I really don't mess with them. But brand new, I probably paid no more than $10 for that. And we got $84.99 for it. So, it's what works. This is a camera. I picked up a camera lot over the summer at a estate sale, and I've sold all the lenses and everything. I've sold a few of the other cameras. This was the one that was left. We've sold this twice to somebody in China, and they never paid. 2 different people. Then I think the same buyer bought it again, but they went through a shipper in Washington. I had one of those weird addresses to it. And we picked all these cameras up for like $25. I've made probably somewhere around $400 off them. I don't know really enough about cameras. I had this for a higher price at one time, but I didn't test this. I don't know the condition of it really that well. I can tell you by what it looks like. Hey, it looks in pretty good condition, but other than that, I really don't know enough about it. And here we go with a suit. This sold fairly quickly. It's a Hickory Freeman suit, wool, nice check pattern. Once again, this sold fairly quickly, probably because of the size, 52 regular. Somebody probably wanted it for Easter or something. And just a really nice looking suit. See the tag. The other tag right there. And it's just, one of those things. I'll pick them up if I see them, and, bigger stuff, usually sells. And Hickey Freeman is not a really bad brand. Just have to be very picky with what you pick up from them. Right here, we have a pair of Allen Edmonds. The model on these were Park Avenue. These actually sell really well. Cap toe. And they were pretty well. I marked these basically to sell fairly well, fairly quickly. Most of the time they'll say right here what they have right there. You can see the name, the model of the shoe. That helps big time. Otherwise, you have to really go to the website and check it out and everything. These were actually in really good condition. These sold for $93.99, and they sold probably within a few days, 2-3 days of getting them listed. We found a bunch of Allen Edmonds. They must have been all the same size because they were all 9.5. Same person, I mean. So, good shoes will sell well. This was a Oxford Clothing men's sport coat. All right, listed as a sport coat. It might have been part of a suit. It was a wool and linen blend. It was a really nice, like blue window pane. It was just really double-breasted, though. Most double-breasted suits sport coats. They usually come with pants. But I took a chance on this just because it was half off day. It was like $3.50. And I just said, I can take the gamble on it. You can see the very subtle window pane. And paid, like I said, $3.50. This sold within a few days for full asking price, $89.99. So that was really good. Have you noticed I charge shipping on all my clothing? There's no free shipping. I don't really believe in the free shipping thing. I know some people would argue with me and tell me I'm crazy, and but we sell a lot of stuff, and I'll argue with anybody. We picked up these were in one box. I picked them up at a yard sale probably a year ago, early in the season, and they just sat in the box for whatever. Because I think what happened was I picked up one or two of these and kind of looked at them and looked them up, and they weren't selling for much money, probably $5 a piece, maybe. I think one of these pieces were selling for about $20. Other than that, they were like $3 to $5. So what happened is I just kept them in the lot. They fit in a one box very nicely. I listed them. They sold within probably 3 or 4 days, $76.99, and they went to Australia. And this was actually, I sold through the global shipping program. I do the global shipping now, and I also do my own shipping. It's kind of, I give them both options. So, that was a sale that's been just sitting here. I picked it up. I think I paid, $6 for this. It was with a KitchenAid mixer I bought for $10 total. I think the mixer was $4. And the mixer is not working. That's why we got the mixer for so cheap. I think I need to replace the motor. I did a video on Tommy Bahama, on Tommy Hilfiger not too long ago, just showing you some of the nicer pieces to look out for. There's money in this brand if you find the right pieces. This sold for $110.99 plus $7.99 to ship, and it's a nice vest. Had the logo on the front here, and where all these windows open. My thing is moving a little on the slow side. It's sailing gear. Usually these pieces go for a little long. Actually, that orange is actually reflective. It had the logos, and on the back it had, this had a lot of watchers. I think when it sold, it had like 20 watchers. And I actually had a message after it sold. Oh, is that still available? It's like, it's sold. Why are you asking? But paid between $3 and $5 for that. I don't remember. It was cheap. That's all I remember. Don't pick up every Tommy Hilfiger thing. You have to be picky with what you pick up. These shoes I've had for a while, probably 9 or 10 months. These are Burberry wingtips, size 12. They're made in England. These are actually really nice shoes. I was thinking about keeping these, but my foot was a little too wide for these. These were really nice. We got these actually at a yard sale in Wilton, Connecticut, when we went there last May for a week. For about 4 or 5 days, we milled around there in Danbury area and just checking out the area. And we went to a yard sale, and they had a lot of Burberry stuff. We got all the Burberry stuff. And it was just getting to the right place at the right time. At the end of the thing, another lady picked up a bunch of suits. So she probably did a little better than I did, but we only paid $5 for these. I sold these for $116.99. And like I said, we've probably had these listed every bit of 9 or 10 months now. But it's sold really well. If you're gonna pick up something for $5 and sell it for 100, and it took that long, and it's not that bad. This is a Hugo Boss suit, wool and cashmere. Really nice. 42 regular, which is, if you're looking ever at that clothing, there's a lot of 42 regular stuff. It's a two-piece suit where it comes with the pants. It was a nice jacket, nice pinstripe. See the label right there. It does have the model number right there, Einstein Sigma, in the top. A lot of Hugo Boss stuff will have their model numbers right on the tags. Just have to pay attention. Their jeans do, as so does some of their shirts on the side, on the hem. Not that it matters so much with the shirts, but a lot of the suits, people will like one brand or another often. Paid probably 15 for that too. Any more than that. I paid about $10 for this. We've had this for a little while. It's a scully western fringe, like leather jacket or blazer, whatever you want to call it. Size extra large. I actually have another one of these listed also that has a lot of fringe and stuff and beads. But yeah, it's been for sale. Probably picked this up early fall, so it's been probably listed like 6 months. But this is why I list stuff. Eventually, it's gonna sell. It doesn't matter. And this sold for $103.99. So you know what? It's not that bad of a sale. I'll take that sale every day. It could be a lot worse. I picked this up maybe about a month or two ago at a estate sale, and I seen it in the. I just seen the jacket. I didn't know what kind of jacket it was. I just knew I had to get the jacket. You could see like the sleeve, and we were actually late getting there that morning. I forgot whatever happened, so it was already there for about an hour when we got there. And we paid 20 for it. It's a Pendleton, just a beautiful. Like Aztec design, Southwestern, and just a really nice jacket. I did have some wear to it, but it sold fairly well at 139. No, let me see my list here. Sold at 134.99. So I'm happy with that. I'll take that all day. Not too bad. Right here we have a Brioni. I've sold this once before, I believe, the same jacket. I'm just realizing now. We sold this once before. I took an offer of 140 to a guy who buys a lot of jackets and stuff from me. He messaged me, asked me if I would do 140, and I just said, yeah, sure. I've had it a little while now, probably 4 or 5 months. I got it from a reseller, a bunch of different stuff, and I was just kind of looking to move it at that point. I'm into it probably for about $30. Once again, it's a double-breasted suit, which are just a little harder to sell. It is cashmere and silk, which is nice. It does have these metal buttons. It's a 48 regular, all different little things that work to your favor, but it just wasn't getting much attention. So took an offer 140. I'm happy with that. And since we had the return on it, I was happy to get it out the door. This was a lot. All these things, a lot. Some of the controllers I could not test. Some of them were very loose in the joystick area, and then others were fine. I didn't feel like selling one by one, so I just threw them all together. These 3 N64s were not working. Couldn't get any of them to work. One worked for about 10 seconds and then it just started acting up. So I just threw them in a lot. They sold for 149. They sold for full price, $20 to ship it. Cost me maybe 14 at best. So, and everything fit in a pretty. It wasn't a big box or anything, actually, believe it or not, when you put everything in there. Um, yeah, I mean, there's money in broken video game equipment. And the funniest thing is, I sent a message to a video game guy close to me about like what we had, what was working, what wasn't. And he only lived maybe a half hour from us, and he was not interested whatsoever. And I probably would have let these go pretty cheap to where there was plenty of money to be made. And these sold so fast that, you know what, it's not even that big of a deal. I just wasn't sure if I was really wanting to take the pictures and list them and everything like that. These are a pair of Nike Air Jordans 5s. I picked these up in Albany, New York. Paid $30 for these, actually. I wanted to keep them for myself, but my fat feet, I wear a size 12, kind of more on the 12 wide side, and my feet were just not feeling these shoes whatsoever. I had them listed at a higher, even higher than the 189, but I was getting a lot of watchers and not really too many bites. They look like they've never been worn. I didn't have the box. They did have the cardboard on the inside of the shoes and the tissue paper and everything, but there was no box, and a lot of people were interested. Oh, it had the box, da da da. So I eventually sold them to somebody, 160, best offer. And he left me feedback within a few days saying he loved the shoes. Thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. Coming to the end here, we have a Hartman Luggage. Picked this up at a yard sale. I want to say like $4 or $5 tops. I remember the yard sale. It was on a Sunday. I picked this up in a few digital converter boxes from somebody. This actually sold for full price, and yeah, sold for full price. And that's really all I got to say about it. It's a leather Hartman Luggage. Had the keys still inside in the paper, little thing that the keys come in, and someone probably used this. I had this listed for a higher price, but we've had this about a year. And some of the larger things, because we keep them in our storage unit, I kind of lowered the price just to get them out of here. You could get up to $300 for one of those, but I just wanted to move it. I didn't want to look at it anymore. This was a Brooks Brothers, and it's made by Thom Brownie. It's black, the black fleece line for Brooks Brothers. This was a small BB1. They go by these weird sizes: BB1, BB2, BB3, BB4, etc., etc. But it was a really nice jacket. You see here is blue and white. Didn't look like it was ever been worn, but I really have a hard time listing things as new without tags. I know a lot of resellers do it, but you can see the tag right here. Brooks Brothers, made in Italy. And you could see the little, what is it, a sheep? Yeah, I think it's a sheep. But you can see the black, doesn't really say anywhere, black fleece, but by the black outline and everything, that's what it is. And the sizing will always be that way, like BB1, BB2, etc., etc. And you just go right to the website and you can get an idea of what size it is. It's not really that complicated. And that sold for $144.99. I think we paid $15 for that. This was a vintage woman's wool Irish tweed coat, and this had a little damage. It was made in England. We picked this up actually with the same place we got the Baltimore Orioles starter jacket. It did have a few flaws. I'm trying to see. It had a little seam tear in the seam in one of the armpits. There was a few little holes, but nothing. See another on the other armpit, both armpits. There was the tag right there. Berry's of London. This was probably, I don't know, 60s or 70s maybe. Just a really nice jacket. It was flawed. I kind of overpaid. I paid 30 for it. But I just couldn't leave it behind. And it sold for $144.99. So you know what? It's not that bad. We had it listed probably 3 months, and it sold. So nothing to hate right there. You know, that's what it's all about. And all right, somehow something. I'm gonna try the last screen share for the last two and end this thing. That does not want to work. Work. All right, this right here, it's not coming up, but it was an NCS, Nintendo NES, 15 games, Mario, Contra, there we go, etc. I always have the TV. If the game system's working, I always hook them up to the TV, have my wife hook it up, and that you can see it working and everything like that. I don't want to have any issues with somebody trying to scam me, so I make sure I have a picture. I'll even do it with few of the games playing, so they understand that this is a working system. This is not, well, you know, this is not, scam you, really. This sold for full price, $169. This thing's jumping all over the place, like all over. Stop. 15 games, so sold it, got rid of it, sold fairly quickly. And number one thing right here. This was some Lionel Trains that we had in a box of stuff, and these were just doubles and stuff for me. And I already had ones of these, so I figured, I didn't need these. I have a huge group of trains. I pick these up all the time. I pick them up very cheap. I picked some of these up at a estate sale. This was about half the box. I kept half the box. I had $100 into the whole tote. So these are half of them. And it was 2 engines, a bunch of cars. And none of them really that expensive. I mean, some of them sold, like the red one, the caboose was like $20, even with the box. It wasn't bringing crazy money. A few of the other cars, $30, $40 tops. The real nice piece was that engine right there in the front, the bigger one, the one that says 2020. That's about $150, $200 engine. If it was in better condition, you'd probably get up to $250, $300. I took a best offer at $300. I just wanted to move them. I didn't have really too much in them at that point. I only had like I said, $50 maybe. I paid $100 for the box, and I kept more than half of them. So that was it. So it was some really good sales. I can't complain. With that being said, I hope somebody learned something somewhere. But I'll see y'all later and have a good day. See you tomorrow.